And this is another one of those cases where I'm like, track everything.
I made that video yesterday talking about two different people who were having issues with their GLP-1 and not getting the results that they want. And my main recommendation to them was track everything. And somebody, Michael, left a comment, but it won't let me reply to his comment, so I had to do it this way. What do you mean track everything? I kind of get that, but what's the format? So one of the things I tell people is make it simple, and let me show you what I mean by that. I have an app that I have my clients track in called Practice Better. It's a completely HIPAA compliant app, and it will let you link to things like Fitbit, Oura Ring, Apple Health, Garmin, etc. And so you don't have to track your steps, it'll track it for you. You also don't have to track your sleep because it'll track it for you and pull in that data, and then the only thing you have to do is look at it. And when you get that data, it'll show up kind of like this in your app, right? But then we're talking about tracking your food. You can track pretty much everything. This is what I had for breakfast. So this was my breakfast today: 35 grams of protein, 29 grams of fat, 111 grams of carbohydrates, 840 calories total. I have also had some vitamins that I need to put in there, and I'm going to put them in there because when I took them, I also took water, but some of those vitamins have things like extra vitamin D, calcium, vitamin E, omega-3s, so it'll change my fat content for the day, but then it also tracks my little micronutrients, which can be just as important as the macronutrients. And then I'm also going to track my water in there, and I track that every time I finish my 32-ounce cup of water, but I need to track the water that I took with my vitamins as well, which is about 6 ounces. And this would include, you pick up a mint at a restaurant, track it. Because it may be that you're picking up those little things more often than you think you are and just popping them in your mouth and not really thinking about it. And you might be getting more sugar at different points throughout the day that you're not as aware of as maybe you should be if your goals are specifically body composition, not just weight loss. And again, tracking everything means track everything. In that app, there's also a place for me to put notes about how I was feeling today. I can track my bathroom habits for the day as well. And then I can also track the color and consistency of those bowel movements, because that can give us information as well. It's important that you track so that you notice when things change as well, because if you go from I'm fine and nothing bothers me and I can eat whatever I want, to all of a sudden, oh, my stools are greasy and they have a really foul odor to them, that can be the first indication of gallbladder dysfunction. The first one, which if the gallbladder has a dysfunction, the liver has a dysfunction. Did you hear that? If the gallbladder is dysfunctional, the liver is dysfunctional. When the gallbladder and the liver become dysfunctional, the pancreas can become dysfunctional. When the liver becomes dysfunctional, sex hormones, including estrogen and testosterone, can get way out of balance. No, you don't have to use my app, obviously, if you're not a client of mine. But many apps do this, and some of them, not that you should be eating very many things that come with barcode, but some of them have scanners. This one, mine does as well, has a scanner that I can scan, literally scan a label, and it'll pop that info in for me to track it. So this time of year, one of my guilty little pleasures is those Rocks Christmas tree nougats, right? I love those. Love them. And I limit myself to 2 a day, and I just scan the bag and I put it in there, and the serving size I think is 4, because that's what it tells me every time I scan it. And then I just go in and put that I had 0.5 servings of 4 because I had 2 of them. Does that make sense? So you can make it as simple or as hard on yourself as you want. You can also, in many of them, I know in mine, if you make something all the time, you can create a recipe in there so that you can just type in like one of the things that I make, and I didn't do that this time, and I just changed my login and password, so I need to go in and reset this up. But I have recipes saved, and one of the recipes that was saved underneath my old profile was my scone recipe. So in there today it just says scone, but my scone recipe is made from almond flour, sourdough discard, protein powder, arrowroot powder, baking powder, almond milk, coconut oil, and that's it. There's nothing else. Oh, and there's chocolate chips in it, and the chocolate chips are the only sugar in it. So the scone that's on there is a little different calorie profile than the scone that I actually ate, but I'm just tracking it, knowing that I only got 35 grams of protein in this morning, so I have a minimum of 85 more than I need to get. But if I'm looking to build muscle, which is what I'm trying to do right now, I have at least another, I have a minimum of 55 more grams of protein to get. But if I want to build muscle, I have another 85 grams of protein I need to get today. So when we're tracking things, it also gives us an idea of like what's next, what's coming up, what do I need to still do, what could I do better tomorrow. And tracking your steps doesn't have to be hard. You can get, a cheap Fitbit to do it. You can get an Oura Ring. You can ask your phone to track your steps. There are all kinds of things that do that now. And your goal should be minimum 7,000 steps a day, because that's what the research actually shows makes a difference on cardiovascular health, minimum. And for a lot of people, it's going to be somewhere between 12,000 and 15,000 steps a day. The 10,000 is like breaking the edge of being excellent. That 12,000 to 15,000 is really where you need to be if you're looking at changing your body composition. But 7,000 is the minimum needed to make cardiovascular change. So tracking your steps becomes important. If you can get most of those steps in the 15 minutes following a meal, you will change your health by leaps and bounds, because you change your insulin sensitivity in that moment, which changes how your body processes that food, which means that you don't store it as fat. And it helps you long-term not store body fat on your body. Apps that I've used in the past include MyFitnessPal, one called Spark People. I forget the names of the other one, but everyone has a tracking app. Everyone has it. If you're a client of mine or you've ever registered for a consultation and you want access to that journal, you were probably given that at the beginning. If you never went through the consultation process, I may have archived your chart. But if you've been through a consult with me since 2020, your chart is still active, because legally I have to keep it active for 7 years if I put notes in it. And you can go in and request a reset to your password, and you can start tracking in there. It's no difference to me. And I can tell you that with my genetics and what I know about my genetics, because I've had them tested, and what I know about where I want my body composition to be, for the last month, I've had way too many fats in my diet because my body doesn't like to break down and process fats. And so if I want to change my body composition in the next 6 weeks, which I'm going to wait until January 1st to start really working on that, I need to downgrade my fat intake, keep my protein intake about the same, and keep my carbohydrate intake about the same, which means I'll be going from about 2,100 calories down to about 1,600 calories. But the way I'm making that adjustment is to decrease my fats back down to where I'm only getting about 60 grams of healthy fats a day, instead of the closer to 80 grams that I've been getting most days since October 1st. And yes, there's a genetic test that we can do that will tell you whether you should be more protein focused, carbohydrate focused, or fat focused in your meals. And if you're interested in that, shoot me a message that says genetics.